Nice. All right, guys, we are back here with another wrestling discussion, episode 8. This is a series where you guys can interact and give your thoughts in the comments down below live or afterwards if you want. We'll engage in the conversation afterwards as well. In fact, after this, I'll go look through the comments of all the videos here and see what we can respond to when it comes to wrestling discussion videos, such as this and more. And this is kind of I have a friend with me. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear him. Introduce yourself, good sir.
Scott Gale, the owner of Canada National Wrestling Shooters.
I don't know if you guys caught that or not. Hopefully you guys did. That is Scott Gale, the owner of the National Wrestling Shooters. And, well, title of this video says, fans blaming WWE for things that are out of their control. And the main thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to this is the Greatest Royal Rumble deal. Now, I've seen a lot of people, as you guys know, with the Saudi Arabia culture, women are not treated as right as they are here. They're treated, and I know people complain about, oh, women are not treated the same as men here. Oh, trust me, it's a lot worse over there from what I understand, from what I hear, and etc., etc., etc. So the women are not going to be allowed to compete at the Greatest Royal Rumble event. Obviously, that sucks, you know. It's unfortunate. But people are forgetting and are looking to, I guess, I don't really know. Maybe in some cases of they are mad and they're blaming the wrong people. And there are some people that I'm willing to bet legitimately think that is WWE's fault. Now, yeah, WWE is notorious for doing things, let's be real, pretty stupid. But here's the thing with this. They are not the end-all, be-all when it comes to the world. Whether they think that, whether some fans think that or not, they're not the end-all, be-all when it comes to the world. Same thing applies with wrestling promotions. Some people like them, a lot of people like WWE, but there's also a group of people, a lot of people, who like other promotions like Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Lucha Underground, etc., etc., etc. So, while they are a very, very powerful company, they can only do so much when it comes to certain situations. A part of the world where another country does get through these peoples. I'm going to use that word. I'm smart because I've discussed that before, Leon. Heads. Each country has its own set of rules, regulations, and laws. What is so hard about that to understand? And Leon, shout out to Scorpion Death Drop, rants, and live shows does bring up a very good point. Each country has their own laws. Now, there's a lot of laws around the world that are very similar to what we have here in America. However, they put their own twists or they have their own laws about them. I might not necessarily agree with the Saudi Arabia rules that, you know, women are being treated the way they are. I don't necessarily agree with that. But unfortunately, the truth of the matter is this. It is their country. It is their rules. They can make those rules if they want to. If they want to change them, they will change them. That is up to them, not to you, not to the WWE. It's up to Saudi Arabia alone. That is up to them. So why do people have the need to blame the WWE for this? It's out of their control. They even tried to be like, can you make an exception? Can you maybe make an exception for this one event? And Saudi Arabia will not budge when it comes to that. And from a business standpoint, if you guys have heard the money amount, you know, $20 million. I wouldn't try to push pretty big because that's a lot of money. It ain't all about the money, of course. Well, I mean, with something like this, it's a lot about the money, of course. But WWE, there isn't a whole lot they can do. They tried. Triple H tried to see if they can make an exception. Saudi Arabia would not budge, and that's that. They can't really do a whole lot because they kept pushing on more and more and more. The event would be canceled. The card would not be stacked as it is, and there would be no Greatest Royal Rumble event. There would be no 50-man Rumble match. There would be none of that. And, well, you know what? You got to deal with what you got to deal with. Plus, the women wrestlers, they're getting it. They got a main event on Raw, and they're getting some time off. Some extra time off which is very, very good. One of the other Saudi Arabia is in the middle of a culture shift, if you will, during this whole event. I did hear about a culture shift. Like, I've heard that this event could end up changing their mind about the whole thing. But again, they're not in that. They're not through the shift yet. They're in the process of being in that sort of changing of the guard, if you will. But it's not going to happen before the Greatest Rumble. It's not going to happen very soon after. Let's go, Malik. But I did hear about that cultural shift thing. Very, very little of it earlier on this morning. But now I'm going to give you some examples of some things that WWE absolutely can control. Prime one being Mr. Brock Lesnar being the Universal Champion. He has this goal, supposedly, rumor has it, take it with a grain of salt, but it wouldn't really surprise me in the slightest, that Brock Lesnar wants to hold the Universal and UFC Championships at the same time. After this Greatest Rumble event, he's going to be, like, sometime down the road, he's going to have an opportunity at the UFC Heavyweight Championship against, what was it? Strive Monic and, was it Karmer or was it someone else? I feel like it was Daniel Karmer. It's been a bit since I've read anything about that whole thing, so I apologize for butchering the names, and I apologize to any UFC fans out there that get mad if I pronounce the names wrong. So that would imply that maybe Brock might end up retaining at the Greatest Rumble ever. I personally hope that he does not retain at Greatest Rumble ever. But back to the topic at hand. See, WWE can obviously make Brock Lesnar drop the belt, okay? Vince can pull the plug and say, okay, time for the Roman Empire, and give the belt to Roman this coming up Friday, and that's a very real possibility. It didn't happen at Mania because at the last minute, Brock signed another contract with the company, and I've also heard things about that work being a joke, but that's beside the point. But Vince feels that Brock Lesnar is his biggest attraction, along with Ronda Rousey. Now, a lot of the talk about Ronda Rousey has been positive, more positive than Brock. And here's another thing that I'm going to put out there. WWE does have a problem of using the phrase, any publicity is good publicity, without going in depth. And I'm using this whole thing to make a point. There's an old saying that's gone around before. I've used it. A lot of other people have used it, that any publicity is good publicity. That's not entirely true. When you look into the depths of the publicity that they get, yeah, they're talking about them, of course. You know, they talk about them, then they're interested. But when you go in depth into the publicity itself, and when you see that about a good 80 to 90% of it is crap, you're doing something wrong. When it gets to a point where fans are actually cheering Roman Reigns, knowing how the fan base is, that is a sign that it is time to get the belt off of Brock Lesnar. You need to look at these sort of signs. You don't necessarily have to listen to everything the fans say. Wish you would do more often than what you do. But when you look at it in depth into the publicity itself, when saying the phrase, any publicity is good publicity, whether good or bad. When you look in depth of it, and you see the fans are, I'm going to put it straight, because I've done it too, bitching about Brock Lesnar being the Universal Champion, there's got to be a change. And that's something that WWE can 100% do, and they're paying that bastard way too much. From what I understand, you know, taking it with a grain of sand, Paul Heyman kind of slid in a little bit of confirmation. Brock Lesnar is getting paid like $125,000 or $100,000 per TV appearance, so there's $100,000 in his pocket right there. And then he gets paid over $500,000, almost $750,000 to, let me see if I can get a Brock Lesnar match down. Suplex, 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 F5, 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 table spot, F5, done. Elbows. That's practically, he gets paid like ridiculous amount of money just to do that. Now, I will say this. I want that. I as much as we shit on Brock Lesnar, a lot of us, and I'll admit right here, I'm damn jealous of that motherfucker because he gets paid all that fucking money just to do like 3 fucking things. I want to get that. I want to get paid that much to get fucking I've heard 20 million when it comes to the Saudi Arabia thing, that Saudi Arabia are giving WWE $20 million to for this event, so that's why it's getting its own custom stage. The card is stacked as fuck, and it's got this big rubber match, which I think the winner should main event SummerSlam with the championship that they're choosing. That's just me. But that's beside the point. The whole Brock Lesnar thing, the contracts, all that. The WWE has control of that, and they could change that. And they choose not to. Because it could be because they're blind of the situation at hand. It could be because they're downright dumb when it comes to listening to the fans. It could be a lot of things. And I'm saying that WWE does have a history, yes, of not looking into something good enough. I will agree with it on that standpoint. Here's the thing, though. Back to the original topic. If it's something absolutely out of their control, with proof and evidence that it's out of their control like this, then there's no reason to go back to being like, oh, WWE is being sexist towards women again. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But when something like this is absolutely out of their control, it's clear as day that it's out of their control. Why do fans go and blame WWE? I've seen a lot of people blame WWE for this. And I'm just sitting there just thinking, do they not know that not every country is like America? That's one of the reasons that makes this world great, is that each country is different in their own way. Might not necessarily like the differences, but they're different in their own way, shape, or form. And if everyone was the same, it really wouldn't be good. Maybe for the wrestling business, but that's about it. Scott, I've gone on a little bit of a ramble spiel. I'm gonna hold the phone close to the microphone so you could get your 2 cents on this whole thing. Your full thoughts, all that.
Yeah, these fans that are blaming WWE are absolutely ridiculous. They're just typical WWE haters who find something to bitch about.
And sorry.
Because they're so stuck in the past.
And it's not even this time that they're stuck in the past. Like, a lot of the times, yeah, a lot of the problems with a lot of the fan base is that they are stuck in the past. But this one's not really that big of a problem when it comes to quote-unquote stuck in the past. We all know that there's a big part of the fan base that does have a problem with that. This, for once, has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that, yeah, they're defending women's wrestling, which is fine. Like, I could see their heart being in the right place and all. But at the same time, you got to think about this. And I will repeat this. Like, throughout these, I have a tendency to repeat myself. Because I want to get my point across as much as I possibly can. And this is the main point. If it's out of their control, you can't do a whole lot. For example, let's say your friend broke down in an accident and needed to get picked up. But your car has a flat tire. And the engines broke down on your car too. You can't make it out there. And the friend starts bitching at you because they're like, oh, well, you're not a good friend if you're picking me up, even though you explained what the hell is going on with your situation, being like, hey, I have a flat tire, engine's broke, I can't help you. And that friend, quote unquote, continues to bitch first off, they're not thinking about you and what you're going through. So you're not, they're doing the same thing that's going on right now. They're not looking at the situation and being like, oh, there really isn't anything they can do. And second off, they're not really that good of a friend if they don't understand what's going on with you. You know? Instead of being like, oh, crap, sorry about that. Hope your situation goes good. I'll call someone else. You have a good day, you know? You get what I'm saying, though? It's the same sort of situation. It's just with the fan base of WWE. And I think I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt and say that a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are just mad that women's wrestling is not going to be represented. And I get you. Like, it sucks that they can't be represented at Saudi Arabia in the greatest Rumble ever. But again, it's kind of out of the control. And plus, think about this. They got a main event on Raw. You know, people call it a petty, oh, you can't be represented at the Rumble, so here you go, main event. And it's a main event on Raw nonetheless. They also get a few days off. Like, a couple extra days off because, you know, they can't be there at the greatest Rumble ever. Everyone else is going to go there. So, I mean, you get a few extra days off from the road, you know. And that's a good thing because, again, think about how long they're on the road for. Traveling every single day somewhere, whether it be by car or by plane, etc., etc., etc. So that's good that they get actually a few extra days off. The women do. You got to look at it from a good perception. I mean, I guess that too. But a good perspective, and from a perspective of, well, if WWE can't really do anything about it, there isn't really anything they can do about it. It's just the way it is. And I don't think a lot of people are looking into it like that. Hold on one sec. That being said, I've got 5 people watching. I'm gonna turn it over to you guys real quick. Sorry, Skittles. Join. I'm gonna turn it over to you guys real quick. I'm going to go look at the greatest Rumble card, and I'm actually gonna get predictions. So, your guys' thoughts on this whole situation, the greatest Rumble thing, and if you guys can think of other situations that are out of WWE's control that people have blamed the WWE for, even though they can't really do a whole lot of thing about it. You guys discuss the comments, questions, all that, and I'll get back to them as soon as possible. All right, I've got the greatest Rumble card right here. Might as well go on and get predictions with that. Because what's it called? That's the event that we've been talking about. And we're going to try to do live reactions if well up at that time. Pick up at 9 in the morning. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can figure a way around it, and I'll be on for that. I'll go from bottom to up, I guess. When they have it right here. As you guys are writing down comments, if you guys want to discuss questions, all that. You know what? I'll go and jump on that real quick, Leon, before we get the greatest Rumble ever, because that's another thing. And I swear to Lord, if I hear one more thing about fucking Sasha Banks having a bad attitude, blaming her for the Paige incident, I'm gonna go on like a complete like Sasha defense mode. Like, if you guys have seen Jack's Twitter at I changed his Twitter handle, I think, but Jack is the biggest Ronda Rousey fan. He will defend everything Ronda Rousey as possible. I'm about to be like that with Sasha Banks. Here's the thing. Accidents happen in the world of professional wrestling. They know, every wrestler knows, and I've talked about this before. When you step into a ring, you're risking getting injured. And accidents happen. Accidents happen. Is it a shame that it happened? Absolutely. Do I feel bad for Paige? Yes. Am I happy that she got a position as general manager on SmackDown? You know, because she had to retire? Yes, I am. Do I believe that there is a chance that she might return to the ring? I think so. I think if Brian had to wait a few years and then had to come back, and was able to come back, then I think anyone can. I think it's possible for just about anyone. Especially for Paige, since like, she still would be at the age of her prime, per se, even though she'd been wrestling for a long time. Here's the thing. Sasha didn't anticipate that the kick would do that, like, a whole lot of damage, because it was a planned spot. It was a planned spot. They planned it, and they went through with it. It was a planned spot of the live event, and it happened, and an accident happened because of it. That's just the way it is. So people that are saying that Sasha's to blame, accidents happen. Okay, it's been a while now. Paige doesn't hate Sasha for it. Get over it. Simple as that. And that's just the way it is. And I talked about the whole Sasha Banks bad attitude, quote unquote, thing a few days ago, and I've seen a lot of shit on Sasha Banks. And keep in mind, I was a Sasha Banks fan before I met her, and I heard this shit, and I was not believing it. Now that I met her, it can make things a little bit worse, but I don't know. By the way, those rumors having a bad attitude are not true unless you try to stalk her at an airport or a hotel. There you go. There's that. Okay. If you have any more questions or comments down below, I will get to them right after I talk about the greatest Rumble ever. After me and Scott give our predictions, so to speak. I would do a whole video about this, but it's a glorified house show. I mean, it's not really a whole lot you can do. First match, predictions wise, is going to be The Undertaker versus Rusev. Or is it Taker versus Jericho? No, it's Taker Rusev. Okay, but the match they flip flopped on a lot.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be. This hurts me to say this, but it's not gonna be a happy Rusev day.
No.
Rusev is going to rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena versus Triple H. Ooh, Cena.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander defending his Cruiserweight Championship against, to be determined tonight, actually. I believe he's, there's going to be they're going to decide who faces Cedric Alexander tonight. And I'm going to say it's going to be Mustafa Ali that he's going to face. And I'm going to think that Cedric Alexander is going to retain.
Yeah.
Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. For the SmackDown Tag Titles, I'm going to go with the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, me too.
Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Well, I mean, considering one team's going to SmackDown, I think the choice is pretty easy here. That'd be Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Which I would have gone from anyway. Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. Now, I heard a little bit of a murmur that Jinder Mahal might actually win this belt, and The Miz might win the Intercontinental title at either this event or at Backlash to switch to the championships again. That being said that Jinder Mahal is near home turf, I am going to go with Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, same.
AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. First off, Styles. Okay, remember, you got to wear that protective cup down there, okay? You don't want Nakamura hitting your balls again. All right? You ain't going to have any more kids. Versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title. I think Styles. I'm going Styles. Scott, I know where you're going to go with.
Yeah, Nakamura.
Fuck you. Team Styles. You're going to support a guy who just comes up and low blows someone?
No, I know. My bad.
Well, Scott's Team Nakamura. I'm Team Styles. And I say that because I don't think they're going to give it to Nakamura at a house show. I think they're going to wait a little bit longer. And I don't think they're going to give it to him on Backlash. I think they're going to wait just a little longer and give it to him at the next SmackDown pay-per-view. Not at the next pay-per-view, I should say. I'm not used to them doing the cross-branded, even though they reminded us and did that music video deal. I think Styles is gonna get it. I really think Styles. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and The Miz. Well, I can roll out Samoa Joe. I can roll out Finn Balor. It comes down to Seth and The Miz. Well, they're having a match again at Backlash, so I think Seth's gonna retain here, and The Miz might end up winning it at Backlash. Then again, I've heard a little bit of a rumor that they're gonna give a lot of title changes at the Greatest Rumble ever, supposedly. This next one, I'm hoping it's one of them. Brock and Roman. Roman. No questions asked.
Roman.
It's time to get the belt off Brock. And if he doesn't win, Roman doesn't win, I'm going to have words, and they're not going to be nice ones. And then finally, the Greatest Rumble ever. 50-men Royal Rumble match. It's going to be at least 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and predict that Daniel Bryan is going to win. To kind of give like a finally Bryan's won the Rumble sort of deal. I think Bryan is going to win.
Yeah. I think Daniel Bryan too.
If it's not Bryan, I would have to say Braun.
That's a good choice too.
And after Braun, maybe Owens or Zayn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe Lashley. I don't know. I guess those are my top 5. Bryan, Braun, Lashley, Owens, and Zayn are my top 5. But I'm going Bryan, ultimately. And to talk about the Greatest Rumble real quick. You guys, for those that don't know, the winner of the Greatest Rumble matchup, the 50-man Rumble matchup, the biggest Rumble in history, gets a trophy.
Trophy, which should be a shot at SummerSlam instead for the World Championship.
They get a trophy. A nice-looking trophy. From what I've seen, it looks like a nice-looking trophy. But just a trophy. That's it. A trophy.
Yeah.
Why not let the main event at Mania? Or Mania, SummerSlam. No.
Yeah.
That's for the Royal Rumble event. I mean, unless you be like, okay, well, whoever the Royal Rumble winner doesn't pick, you get to pick at Mania. You get to have a Mania for the belt. Maybe that, but I would just have a main event SummerSlam for it.
Like, okay, well, whoever the champ,
But that, I think, covers the Greatest Rumble ever, and I think I've talked about what I need to talk about here. If there's any other comments after this hanger goes off air, leave them down below. I'm going to go through the comments of all the videos, not just this, but all the other videos. Get back to you guys as quick as or not quick per se, but as best as I possibly can with all the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Thank all the 5 people that watched. Thank you to Scorpion Death Drop, Rants, and live shows, and Malik X for commenting during the live talk. Great having you both. watching and talking as well, whether it was just a WhatsApp or contributing to the conversation, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the next shoot. We'll probably see you guys Friday. I'm thinking I'll probably get up early on Friday and then watch the greatest Rumble ever. And we'll do live reactions for that if possible. If not, then I'll come on and I'll do I'll do a reaction to the whole event, avoiding the internet entirely. That's my main thing. If I wake up and I miss the whole damn event, I'm avoiding the internet entirely. The internet will be my enemy. But shut up. Aside from that, guys, thank you guys for watching. And as Malik says, well, I'll put that last actually. This has been another shoot from Cody Brainerd. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Or the next reaction. Whichever the case may be. Or the next discussion. Etc. Etc. Y'all know the deal. Make sure to subscribe, guys. We are so close. We're getting so close to 200 subscribers, guys. We're getting there. We're getting back to the way we were years and years ago. Over 2 years ago, guys. Getting close. There will be a big celebration. I think we were at like 240, right?
Yeah.
We were at 240. Once that happens, there's gonna be a big celebration and just a big party, guys. When there's 200 subscribers, there's gonna be a party. But when it hits 240, then there's gonna be a big party because that'll be where we were before. We're almost at 120 on the network, which I think. Well, no, we were a bit higher on the network. We were like 175, roughly, give or take.
Ever since they started doing SmackDown, that's when I got getting more subs on the network.
Keep doing what you're doing, Scott, man. You're holding that ground down pretty damn well. Guys, from all of us here, from the owner, Scott Kisgale, Wilfred, #1, go subscribe to him. From myself, Brainerd Studios, go subscribe to me because I'll probably be on either today or tomorrow. I might do it on the GTA 5 live stream. Go subscribe to JH Films. Go subscribe to My Commander. Go subscribe to the M Network. Go subscribe to the network. Go subscribe to the Revolution, etc., etc. Subscribe to Malik X. Subscribe to Scorpio Dojo Brands and live shows. Guys, see you in the next shoot. Peace.